we got the newest episode from My Hero Academia, and the season's almost over, and only now are we finally getting into the character who kind of needed the most told about their backstory and everything about them, and etc. etc. And that, of course, is Shigaraki, his origin story, and what happened to him when he was younger as a kid. And I sat around in my room trying to figure out like what I wanted to save for the video specifically. And it's pretty disturbing imagery, especially considering just how like real the type of situation that Shigaraki was in when he was a kid is in, because it's very relatable to me. I relate very heavily with that because I was in some similar situations as him when he was younger, in concept of course, and it kind of hit me in specific ways that I wasn't really expecting, and I didn't know what exactly they were gonna do, but ultimately the episode does what it does and it shows what it shows, and I was like, man, this stuff actually is very relatable, and the fact that this stuff even exists in real life in concept, like I said, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's similar. It kind of hit me, and mentally in my head a little bit every so often when they were showing off what was happening. And basically it was just showing off that Shigaraki, when he was a kid, just didn't really have a good childhood. His dad would constantly berate his son for trying to even just pretend to be a hero, and of course we know that Shigaraki's grandmother was one of the previous wielders for One For All, and so his father, who was the son of that wielder for One For All, I'm blanking on her name, I apologize for that, Nanashi Mura, that's what her name is. He resented Heroes after that point when she decided to go ahead and leave to continue doing hero work and protecting people and helping people in need that needed it. He started to resent her, and later on in life he created a family that abided by rules of his household, which one of the rules was you can't be a hero, you can't have any affiliation with being a hero, anything hero related doesn't exist, right? And he would berate his son for doing that, and Shigaraki as a child would then rely on his family to make him feel better, and he just didn't have the proper support system that he needed to properly feel better. And ultimately it got to a point where all that anxiety and abuse and stress was starting to swell up and up and up, and eventually it got to a point where later on in the episode, during the origin story in the flashback, it shows him and his older sister in their father's office, and he realizes that his grandmother was a hero, and the father comes back and he decides to go ahead and hit his son, and that was the final draw. That's when he realized that he started to hate his family. He hated the support system that he had. It wasn't exactly what he needed, and his quirk had finally completely manifested into what we already know what it is, and he slaughtered them all. He completely evaporated them from existence, because that's how his quirk works. And it was very disturbing because situations like this, like I said, happen in real life where people don't get their proper support systems, and they live in abusive households, and they just don't have a very good family life realistically, and they don't have people to be there for them. And that's kind of the reason why I said it was very relatable for me, because I didn't have the best support system in my life. I didn't have a very stable family life, and that didn't start getting better until much later on in my life, when I started finding the people that I needed to help me feel better and feel better about myself, and learn that I needed to start caring about myself as well. And then of course naturally my family life started to become so much more better than what it was, so much more stable. And the fact that Shigaraki's hatred and wanting to destroy things, that's simply what he wants. He just wants to destroy everything. It's stimulated from that. It was imagery that I wasn't really expecting, and I didn't know what they were going to do with it, but seeing it, and then of course having that taught on to him more so when All For One found him. Of course, obviously, like I said, it's a bad support system, and that wasn't what he needed specifically in order to become a better person. And he is the way that he is now because of all that happening. And it was just very interesting imagery. I wasn't really expecting to see all of that, and it kind of messed with me a little bit, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, but ultimately I kind of liked seeing it. I think seeing more stuff like this with certain characters was exactly what we needed. Other than that, the rest of the episode just kind of focuses on Spinner, whose quirk is that he's just a gecko, and that's it. And just I saw that earlier on. I was like, why is he even a part of the group then? That's all he does. He just sticks to walls. That's all he does. Unless somehow his quirk is going to advance and improve later on. Probably not, because they don't have fucking time for that. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.